Hey guys, today I want to talk about a button. Yes, a whole video about a button. Because the controller in my favorite board, the Thor300, it comes with a button that had a bunch of issues in the beginning, and the good news is those issues are finally fixed now. So let's dive into the details. The Thor uses a momentary switch, which means you just need to press it once to turn it on, and then also you just need to press it again to turn it off. And because it's momentary, it gives you the ability to get auto shutdown and all that, so it's not depending on a latching switch and the mechanics of the switch to keep the board on, but actually it's basically impossible to turn that board off if it is done right. Now, as some of you know, it was not done right at first, and the Thor became infamous for accidentally powering off without the user wanting to, and you may have seen some videos on that. So I stepped in and I implemented my own version of a super robust momentary switch handling, which basically now makes it impossible to power that thing off by accident or due to any kind of surge or whatnot. Even a gel blaster is no match for the Thor now. So if you just hit it briefly, it does not power off. It is basically impossible to get this to accidentally shut down. If you want to shut it down, you need to press it for exactly half a second or longer. And then to make it easy to know when you've pressed long enough, it will give you a little bit of a beep and let you know you can let go. So there we go. So when you hear that little beep, you know that you can let go and it'll power off. But now it gets even better. Unlike any other controller, this one will not let you power it off if you're riding it. So if we simulate riding here by just running from the vest tool, and now I can press this button and press it longer too. It will not power off. But now what if you are on the bench, the motor is running out of control, you want to turn it off? You can hold it for longer than 3 seconds, and when you do, you will hear a beep. And now we let go and it powers off and everything has stopped. So that's basically the emergency shutdown. So we have the ability to power it off in a perfectly controlled manner. It's bulletproof, never powers off when you don't want to, or it doesn't stay on when you expect it to power off, because you have that feedback from the beep, so you know exactly what you're doing. So really, this is, to me, the ideal implementation of power button. The only thing that's still missing is linking it to the LEDs. Eventually, I want to make it so that when you're powering off the board, that you get a nice shutdown sequence on your LEDs as well. So just a few quick words on how it's done. Basically, instead of just looking at a level, originally the first versions were level triggered, caused a bunch of problems. Then they released a version that was just edge triggered, so as soon as you had it from going from low to high, the button would be considered pressed and it would shut down. And that was unreliable for various reasons. Basically, what I did to make it bulletproof is I'm looking for a complete sequence of events, and only if the full sequence has been captured, then we know that we can reliably say the user wants to power down the board. So what we're doing is we're looking for a button press, so that's basically a rising edge in the signal. Then we're looking for a hold, and then we're looking for a release. So by looking at that complete pattern, we can basically guarantee that there is absolutely no way that this will happen on accident. Even if we made it shorter, we agreed to a half a second. If we had made it 100 milliseconds, which originally was my personal preference, and before I added the beep, I preferred it that way. But even this was 100% reliable because there was no way for any spikes or any external events, even if you have 500 phase amps running right by your button, that would never trigger that kind of a pattern. It might trigger some spikes that would trigger, these edges, but it wouldn't then have that up, hold, and release. So that's basically the pattern that makes it so robust. This is why I'm 100% confident that this is bulletproof now. So yeah, this is going to be released soon, and I encourage everybody to install that on their Thors, and then they should never have an issue with the button again. So now, the only problem is that the Thor that I have is one of the early prototypes, and there the button doesn't work at all. I can use it to turn on the controller, but that's about it. And everything else, I have to either wait for it to time out, or I have to use float control to turn it off. But hey, I still love the controller, and yeah, I'm gonna keep riding it until it dies.